Welcome, Ian. Thanks for joining us on Market Money.
Yes, good to be here, Jermaine, as usual.
Yes, awesome. So let's start by just sharing a bit on last year, last FY. You just had your annual general meeting. How would you describe the 2023 financial year for 138?
Yeah, I would say 2023 was an interesting year, a bit of a mixed bag for us. I think, first of all, on the positives, we built on the years coming out of COVID. 2023 was another record performance year for 138. I believe the management team is very focused on continuing to build on the efficiencies. We've seen that translated through into the numbers. Of course, I do believe that we have some challenges and potential headwinds in terms of increased costs for the new year. So that's something we'll have to bear in mind. But again, for 2023, good results, very good operations, good occupancies, continued good relationship with the students, good relationships as far as the university is concerned, University of West Indies and the leadership there, which I think is important for 138. On the challenge side, clearly was the struggle that we encountered in relation to our APO. We knew it was a difficult market. We were not able to raise the amount of funds that we originally wanted to raise. So we're going to have to rethink the steps going forward in the short term and medium term. But apart from that, I think we have a lot to be thankful for. I think the operations continue to be blessed and continue to be doing very well.
Great. And I like how you are just kind of owning that, right? Because it was, I think, an interesting time to seek to do an APO for the amount that you were hoping to raise as well. As certainly rooting for you to be able to accomplish it, but it did seem like a tall task. So with that said, now what is the focus for 2024?
So the focus for 2024 and moving forward is, we're going to have to rejig our thinking a little bit. First of all, we did have some expansion plans on paper to begin executing almost right away. Of course, those plans are going to have to be rethought now in terms of timing and approach and how we get them done. The good thing is that we do have a good product. There is demand for the product. We would have liked to complete a structure that we currently have the foundation done, and we're thinking about doing the engineering and the final works to be able to execute that and add another 144 rooms to the stock. But we're going to have to put those plans on immediate hold. I think for 2024, the focus is going to be just continuing to run a good operation. We have some costs, which are cost increases, which are really coming our way. I think we're going to have to, in the immediate term, just think about some strategies how we can, even if we're not able to address it in the financial year 2024, I think we have to set our hand in the year so that by the time we get to the new year starting in September, which is only maybe about 6 months or so away, that we have kind of set the platform to be able to mitigate those cost increases and continue to produce good results. It's important that we keep our note holders and other folks who we have obligations to, that we are able to meet those obligations without much of an issue. And once we're able to get those done, we're going to definitely then have to rethink the medium-term plan in terms of what the capital structure looks like. We'll have to look and see what the environment is doing, whether it's an opportunity to go back into the debt market or opportunity to go back in the equity market. But we do have to rejig the equity structure and the tenor of some of these obligations that we have. Apart from that, it's really about just holding a good tight ship, continuing to provide a good product, and keeping really focused on the things that are important to us.
Okay. Do you think, if you were to say regarding the APO, do you think it was just simply a matter of timing? Let's say it was maybe a year earlier, a year later. Do you think that would have just completely changed the outcome?
Maybe not completely changed, but clearly timing is everything. With interest rates being so high now, it was a difficult environment. But the fact of the matter is that I don't think we had much choice, Jermaine, in this particular instance, because we do have some upcoming maturities, particularly in this current year, 2024. We don't have to worry about meeting those obligations. No, we have the funding in place to be able to meet those obligations. Where we do have the shortfall are to do the other things that we wanted to do. So we've kind of checked one box. But when you think about being successful in terms of capital market raise, whether AP or otherwise, I think there are a number of important things that come into the picture. One is that what the story of 138 and what I would say the underlining fundamentals are probably not fully understood by the market. And I think doing the APO exercise and the kind of publicity gave us an initial opportunity to get the 138 message out there. But it's something that we do recognize we have to continue to do and continue to build, because the story is a good one, and we just need to maybe have some more publicity around what the story is and the benefit of it. So that's part of the equation. Clearly, as we said, timing and the environment is another important one. We'll monitor the environment if interest rates start to come back down. If there's a little bit more positive activity in the equity market space, then that certainly could provide an opportunity that could have a different result. So we'll continue to watch that space as well. And then, it all depends on what we're seeing with the momentum with other issues that might come to market over time. And sometimes, you get somewhat of a wave that you can start to ride on as well. So I believe, there are a number of things that in retrospect, I don't think any of those things were great for us last year. But, like everything else, things change, and we'll just have to make sure we pay close attention to the change that will happen.
Yes, I'm right there with you. I think you had an absolutely great opportunity that you wanted to take advantage of. It seems like if it was able to go as planned, you'd have been able to, accomplish a lot of things with one kind of event.
Yep.
And so I think it's a shot worth taking, and you took it. So now you can learn those lessons and move on to the next thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that you mentioned as a part of the APO exercise was you painted a picture or told a story of this move or a shift to paying dividends. And one of the things that I wondered, and I'm hoping that you can help me to understand, do you think in light of now where you are, does it make sense to try and continue that trend of paying a dividend? Or do you wait to see now because you want to maybe conserve that cash to see if you can add those additional rooms or maybe invest in other areas?
Yeah, dividends, let me tell you. First of all, I think we are fully committed to paying dividends to our shareholders. I think our shareholders have been very clear. The company is now 7 years old or so. We were able to pay a dividend last year. Even if we're not able to pay a dividend this year, the issue of dividend payment is something that is very current on our minds, and something that we will continue to look at paying a dividend. However, with the the set obligations that we have, particular to our note holders, we have to make sure that we can meet those comfortably, as well as the requirements that come around that overall note holder agreement. We do need to make sure that we can meet those comfortably before we seriously consider paying another dividend. But it's not as if we're taking dividends off the stove. It certainly is on the warm burner and something that occupies our thoughts, on a regular basis.
Okay. Thank you for that. I am a dividend investor, and so I always have my antennas out for dividends. So when I hear those words, I tend to perk up. So I'll keep my ears to the ground for that one. But I think it'd be a great opportunity, and especially to reward those shareholders who've been there from the start, and just to, if even if it's at all possible, which I'm sure you're saying that it's something that you're looking at, I know in this particular climate it would be a good signal to investors if you were able to.
Agreed, and that is actually the thinking of the board as well. So we're definitely aligned to that. And the first opportunity that we're able to, I'm sure we'll be seriously considering a dividend payment.
Okay, awesome. So the last question I'll ask you before we close out this interview is, you mentioned also at the APO conference, the APO press briefing, that you were exploring some other opportunities. I've gotten a little bit of the pieces, but I'm still not fully clear as to what those other opportunities are. We heard something about UTech. We heard something maybe about, prisons or schools. Like, I'm still not seeing the picture clearly. What other opportunities do you have for income generation that you are able to share with us? And if not, how soon can we expect those to come on stream?
Okay, so Jermaine, there are clearly other potential opportunities with other tertiary institutions, and UTech is one potential one. And I know there have been some discussions there, and we will continue to look at that opportunity for sure. There is another potentially big one. Again, with these PPPs, they do not happen overnight. There's a lot of work that has to happen in the background. Because of the government procurement guidelines as well, there's a process that one has to go through. So we are continuing to work on another potential PPP, which would be different in its nature from providing student accommodation. Again, I think we have been working on this now for maybe about 2 years. The process is advancing, but it is advancing slowly. Would we like to see it speed up a little bit? Clearly, the answer to that would be yes. But again, we can only go at the pace of the partners that we are involved in. And so, we're not spending at this point either a lot of time or financial resources on this particular opportunity, this new PPP. So, to the extent that it's a major distraction at this point, it is not, but it's an opportunity that we'll continue to pursue, and hopefully we're able to nail it down in the next coming months, or maybe another year or so. So that's kind of what we're working on as immediate opportunities. And then for this other PPP, it would need a whole separate funding strategy and execution strategy. It's almost, I would consider it as almost a second leg of OneThread, so to speak, that we could set up almost independently of the student housing PPP that we currently operate.
Okay, and to be clear, PPP stands for?
That's a public-private partnership. So, OneThread is a private entity working in conjunction with the government, for example, to do projects similar to maybe how the highway was done and other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted you to, close this out with a message to your shareholders. What do you say to those who would have been with you from the start, those who would have joined you through the APO? What's your message to them as you look to, build on the positives of last year, adjust from the challenges of last year, and to look forward to this year?
So first of all, just want to express gratitude for the support that our shareholders have given over time, whether they have been from the start or folks who have recently come on stream. What I'd like to say to them is that we do have a very, very solid business. The business of OneThread is on very, very strong foundation. The product is in demand, that's for sure. We do offer a very good product, and I would say as a long-term investment, OneThread investment is going to be one of the best investments that our shareholders can make. Also want to say to them, we do understand the importance of dividends. We spoke to that before. I want to reiterate that it's something that we are actively looking at and considering, and we will be looking to restart dividend payments at the shortest possible time. And in terms of growth, we have a couple of opportunities that we spoke about, and we're going to be pursuing those growth options for the company as well. So from an overall basis, in terms of potential investment return for shareholders, for those shareholders who can continue to hold the line and work with us for the long-term benefit, I think they are going to be tremendous beneficiaries investing in OneTrade.
Great. Thank you so much, Ian. Great discussion as usual, and all the best for the year.
Thank you so much, Jermaine. Appreciate it very much again and the opportunity. Take care.